Continue with the book of Divrei Hayamim, the book of Chronicles. We're up to the 24th chapter, and we'll continue with the bureaucracy and the bureaucracy is maybe the wrong word because it has a negative connotation. All that King David does to prepare for the temple. We talked about the different groups of Leviim and their jobs in yesterday's chapter, and today we turn to another person or another family from the tribe of Levi who we know are not Leviim. Ulivnei Aharon machlikotam b'nei Aharon Nadav Avihu Elazar v'Itamar, the four sons of Aaron. Vayomat Nadav Avihu lifnei Avihem uvanim lo ayu lahem vayichahanu Elazar v'Itamar. We know that the two oldest sons, Nadav and Avihu, as we read about in the Torah, died, and they had no children. And therefore, when we talk about lineage, all the Kohanim are going to come from Aaron's two sons, Elazar v'Itamar. Vayechalkeim David v'Tzadok min bnei Elazar v'Achimelech min bnei Itamar lefkudatam ba'avodotam. So David here, along with one member of each family, Tzadok, the descendant of Elazar, and Achimelech, the descendant of Itamar, they divide them into offices and tasks. We're in verse 4, Pasuk Dal, V'yimsu v'nei Elazar rabim l'rashei hagvarim min bnei Itamar v'chalkom l'vnei Elazar rashim l'veit avot 16 l'vnei Tamar l'veit avotam shmona. Elazar's family was more numerous and had more, at least more men than that of Itamar. So from Elazar's family, they had 16 chiefs, while from Itamar's family, there were only 8. Vayachalkum b'goralot Ele im Ele kiayu sarei kodesh v'sarei Elohim b'nei Elazar v'nei Itamar. They divided them by lot, both on equal footing, since they were all sanctuary officers and officers of God, the sons of Elazar and the sons of Itamar. So it wasn't a weighted lottery. Each one had the same, I suppose, 1 in 24 chance, because there are 16 and 8, 24 different clans, if we want to put it as such. Vayichtaveim Shmaya ben Netanel Sofer min Alevi lefnei Hamelech v'Sarim Tzadok HaKohen v'Achimelech ben Eviatar v'Rashei Avot l'Kohanim v'Levim Beit Av Echad Achuz le'Elazar v'Achuz le'Itamar. So Shmaya, the son of Netanel, the scribe from the tribe of Levi, he registered them under the eye of the king, right? So everybody's there together as they're going to give out the jobs. Vayitze Hagoral Rishon liho Yariv lidaya Hasheni. The first lot fell on Yeho Yariv, the second on Yedaya, lecharim Ashlishi, lisheorim Haravi'i. So we're telling you the different families, Seorim, not Sheorim, excuse me, Lemalkiah HaChamishi, Lemiyamin HaShishi, all the different families are getting the different jobs and different things. La'akotz HaShvi'i, La'aviyah HaShmini, Liyeshua HaTshi'i, L'Shechanya HaAsiri, Le'Eliashiv Ashtei Asar, Liyakim Shnei Asar. So continuing, we're up to the 12th one who it fell out on. L'Chupa Shlosha Asar, Liyesh Ve'ah Arba Asar, Levilga Chamisha Asar, Leimer Shisha Asar, Lechezir Shiva Asar, Lehapitzeit Shmona Asar, up to 18 different so far that has fallen on. Verse 16, Lefitachya Tisha Asar, Lechiechezkel HaEsrim, Liyachin Echad ve'Esrim, Legamol Shnayim ve'Esrim, Ledalaya Shlosha ve'Esrim, and finally we're in the middle of Pasuk Yudchet, verse 18, Lema'azyahu Arba'a ve'Esrim. So the 24th one is Ma'aziyah. These are the different families, different jobs that they were given. Ele pekudatam, lavodatam, levo leveit Adonai mishpatam, biad Aaron aviem, kasher tzivao Adonai Elohei Yisrael. According to this allocation of offices by test, they were to enter the house of God, as was, the instructions were given originally to their ancestor Aharon, as God had commanded all of that time ago for Aaron and his family. So these are the 24 different sort of families, 24 different mishmarot. Each is assigned to serve in the temple at a specific time. Each group would serve, the way it's understood, for a week at a time, rotating through the calendar year, which would be 48 weeks. And then during the holidays, during the Shalosh Regalim, presumably they would all be necessary because the amount of people, the swelling, the many, many people who would come up to Jerusalem and to the future Beit HaMikdash. Of course, it's not built well. It's not built yet, the temple, the Beit HaMikdash. Just some different things. We've been talking a lot about the comparison to the book of Shmuel, and obviously this is another place where we don't have this in Shmuel. We this is all stuff that we have in Divrei Hayamim. The David as not just the warrior king, but David and not just the person who was denied the right to build the temple, but does everything but builds the temple, gets all the preparation necessary, or the start of the preparation necessary, instructs his son Shlomo, sets out who the Levites are going to be, the Kohanim are going to be, how they're going to how they are going to serve in the temple. And we know later on in the temple era that we have these divisions, 24 families, and you could question whether or not how the author of Divrei Hayamim gets this when it wasn't in the book of Shmuel. Was this an ancient tradition that we already had? Is it something that he's working off of something that they did during the later temple, the second temple period, and placing it back to being the work of King David all those 600 or so years ago? Just some interesting things just to think about it, and then we'll read the rest of the chapter. Sometimes with holiness, it's first come, first serve, and sometimes certain people get it, other people don't. You could question the whole idea of Kohanim, clans who are quote unquote of greater importance. But here, what we do is we're saying that an easy way to deal with it and a fair way to deal with who's serving in the temple. Let's divide the families into 24. Let's divide it into 24 different families, right? It makes it regular. It sort of democratizes the process. Every family has a set time. There's not going to be favoritism. There's not going to be chaos. Holiness requires order, and that's a big aspect of this. Of this sort of division and dividing them into the different times. Let's continue with the chapter. Ulivnei Levi hanotarim livnei Amram Shuvael livnei Shuvael Yechdiyahu. So now we're getting to the remaining sons of from the Levite family, who we have not been told yet what it is that they're jobs are and what they need to do. So we're told we have Shivuel and the sons of Shivuel, Yechediyahu, Lirechavyahu, Livnei Rechavyahu, Harosh Yishia. So Rechavya, Liyitzhar in verse 22, Liyitzhari, Shlomit, Livnei Shlomit Yachat, right? We had the name of the second generation earlier, Shlomit, we had in the last chapter, but now we have the next generation, Yachat, Uvnei Yiriyahu, Amaryahu, Hasheni, Yachaziel Ashlishi, Yikamam Maharavi'i, Bnei Uziel, Micha, Livnei Micha Shamir, Achi Micha Yishia, Livnei Yishia Zicharyahu, in verse 25. We're getting to Bnei Mirari, Machli, Mushi. We had to mention the earlier chapter from the Torah, Bnei Ya'aziyahu Vino, the sons of Ya'aziyahu, his son. And this is coming from the family of, again, from Machli and Mushi, Bnei Mirari, Li'aziyahu Vino, Vishoham, Vizakur, V'ivri. These three names, Shoham, Zakur, and Ivri. Lemachli Elazar v'lo hayu lo banim. We mentioned again. This was in the earlier chapter. Machli's son Elazar did not have any children. Lekish b'nei Kish Yerach Me'el uvnei Mushi Machli va'eder v'rimot. Ela b'nei HaLeviim Leveit Avotehem. The sons of Mushi, we have their names Machli and Eder and Yirmiot, and these are the sons of the Levis. Vayapilu gamhem goralot leumat achehem b'nei Aharon lifnei David HaMelech v'Tzadok v'Achimelech v'Roshei Avot Lakonim Levim Avot Harosh leumat achiv hakaton. And these two, we cast lots corresponding them and their families. This was done under the aegis of the Kohanim, the descendants of Aaron and David, the two great Kohanim family, Tzadok and Achimelech, one from Elazar, one from Itamar, and the different chiefs of the clans and the Kohanim and the Leviim were there. And it didn't matter if you were the biggest or the smallest. L'umat achiv hakaton, right? You could be from the largest family, or you could be from the smallest family. Everybody had their opportunity in the Goral to get their jobs, their weeks, their time when they were going to do service. And so we have a list of names here, but it's about David setting up the temple ordering things. And again, a lot of this and a lot of what's going on here is the transformation of David in terms of the way we're seeing him as a great religious leader, spiritual leader, and setting up as much as possible, trying to make it a turnkey operation for his son Shlomo, which is what he does with all of these different pieces and aspects of setting up as much as he can every last detail here in Divrei Hayamim. And of course, we know what we do not see back in the book of Shmuel.